these great values-based activities, and hopefully you've started doing them. However, I am pretty sure that some of you have not. Some of you are engaging with them really well, and other people are struggling, and that's totally fine. It happens, right? There are usually 4 things that stop us from doing the important stuff, like these values-based activities, whether they're like just like silly fun activities or you know, bigger, more important activities. And by more important, they're not necessarily more important, they're just in a different life domain. Usually we tend to write off the leisure ones, and I think like the work and education ones or relationship ones are more important. They're all really important. So 4 things that can stop us that we need to consider and work with. So first of all is we get hooked by our thoughts, right? Our minds tell us we can't do something, we shouldn't do something, gives us a big list of bad things that are gonna happen if we do the thing, right? So when these show up for us, we want to unhook from those thoughts, right? We want to, you know, put the thought on a leaf and watch it float down the stream, or just notice and name the thought, but basically just anything we can do to create some distance between us and that thought so that it doesn't stop us from doing these important things. Remember that your mind is being a really overly helpful friend, which is fine, it's just not always super helpful. Second thing that stops us is that we are avoiding discomfort, right? We are literally out of our comfort zones, and this brings up feelings, emotions, and sensations that we do not like and do not want to have. What we want to do is really try to make some room for these, right? So can we give them some space so that we can be willing to do this stuff even with them? So there's a little bit of anxiety. Is it okay? Can we make some space for anxiety while I, you know, go do this thing? Or even if it's like physical pain, sometimes I'll be like, oh, that's interesting. Oh, so maybe a little more in the hip than I thought, but you know, it's not too bad. I can still go for that walk today, right? So can we make room for some discomfort? Again, we don't want to be in pain, and especially when it comes to physical, but emotional stuff we can usually find some space for, so we can still do the cool, fun, important thing. 3 is that we're forgetting what our values are. We're like literally forgetting why we're doing the thing. Okay? So the whole point of the values-based activity is to do things that are aligned with our values. So first of all, we want to double check that that is the case. And second of all, if you've forgotten what those values are, it's good to reference back. Oh, like, why am I doing this again? Okay, right, I'm doing this walk because fitness is really important to me, or I'm traveling, even though I have a little bit of worry about COVID, because adventure is important to me. And so when we remind ourselves, it's helpful. The 4th thing that stops us is that we have an unrealistic goal. So again, you didn't have to make goals, but if you did make a goal, let's say you do want to do the, yoga 3 times a week, or one that's often happens, so they'd be like, oh, I'm going to start meditating. And then they're going to set a goal like 20 minutes a day, 7 days a week, right? And when they're currently not meditating at all. That's probably not super realistic. Realistic goals are ones that you're like at least 70% confident that you can accomplish. And so if it's less than that, like, it's good to take a step back and like, maybe can we like adjust this goal and maybe make a totally different goal that is, I'm feeling fairly confident in my ability to do. This of course isn't going to be applicable if you didn't make a goal, and you didn't have to for, values-based living. Like I said, sometimes I just have like I know I like to color. I have a coloring book in the other room that I can go color when I want to. I don't have a coloring goal, right? But sometimes, when we do have those goals, this is where this 4th one comes into play a lot. So those are the 4 things that might stop you, the 4 or so things that you can do about them. And hopefully this helps you engage in some more values-based living and values-based activities so that you can have an awesome, awesome life, even with chronic pain or chronic illness. All right, everybody, take care and keep making the most of it.